Coordinates entered. All systems are ready.
Let's go. Off to the stars.
A game like DarkStar One is an investment. It requires time to learn the lore and the mechanics. It requires money to be fully immersed in the universe. It was why I held off playing the game until a confluence of events made me want to go boldly where every sci-fi fan has gone before. I play as Kayron Jarvis, a newly licensed pilot who inherited a technologically advanced starship from your recently deceased father.
Ah, Chiron. Good that you're here.
Hi, Robert. Is it okay?
No problem. Come in.
Hey, did you see that ship that just came in? Man, what a machine. I wish someday I could...
Damn. Yes, I saw it.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, of course, I did. SimRob Security Services congratulates you on completing your training. You have shown extraordinary talent, and you now have the privilege of calling yourself an escort pilot with pride. At ease. Your father would be proud of you, Kayron.
Yeah, I wish he were here.
Me too, believe me. Well. Look here. This is one of the first models of the new DarkStar, a technically advanced long-range fighter.
That was the ship.
It's the best ship in the whole sector.
Wow.
The DarkStar has an intelligent upgrade system which can integrate equipment from any technological base into the ship's systems. Besides that, you're literally able to expand your ship when you have enough experience. Weapon mounts, improved hull, stronger engines, everything can be upgraded, yeah? However you like.
Amazing.
Your father wanted you to have the ship when you'd finished your training. I have had you released from all other assignments, so use the time to do the training sessions and become familiar with the ship.
When can I get started?
As far as I'm concerned, right now.
And after a lengthy tutorial session.
Hi, Kayron. I'm Aram. Robert told me to help get you started with the DarkStar One controls. Let's begin with something simple. You can turn the ship and look around by using your mouse. The keys W, A, S, D control your thrusters. In order to adjust your basic propulsion, that is, the velocity of your ship, use your mouse wheel.
Tasked with pursuing the person alleged to be responsible for the death of your dad.
I know. I want to tell you something.
Yeah?
There's new information about Simon's... about your father's death.
What?
Simon was an outstanding pilot. Do you think that he would just let the Thule shoot him down?
Of course not.
Well, neither do I. So I started some inquiries. Look, we examined the debris of his ship. And here are the results. Check for yourself.
Sabotage. Someone tampered with the weapons system. Dad never had a chance. Why didn't you tell me about this?
Because it would have distracted you from your training. You would have wrestled with one question day and night. The same question that has occupied me.
Who?
Yes. Who was it that was bribed by the Thule? Who sabotaged Simon's ship? Who has your father on his conscience? I needed a name. And this morning, I got it. His name is Jack Forrester.
Forrester.
In recent years, he was one of our best agents. He disappeared shortly after Simon's death.
Do you know where he is?
Don't know. He's probably no longer in our cluster, but I have our contacts looking for him. As soon as I get word, I'll let you know. I understand you want to find him, Kayron, but be careful. We still need you. Jack is an excellent pilot, but he is unscrupulous. You must have good command of your ship, or you won't stand a chance.
Don't worry about it. I will.
As you gather clues to the whereabouts of the suspect, You'll take on odd jobs, make unlikely allies, navigate tricky corridors, and wonder which sci-fi property Ascaron has creeped from to craft your adventures in DarkStar One. If you are a big sci-fi fan like I am, you'll definitely notice the similarities to Babylon 5, Star Trek, and to an extent Star Wars. Tonally, the DarkStar One script leans heavily toward Babylon 5, so does its aesthetics. If you have seen the J. Michael Straczynski magnum opus, and remember its twists and turns, you already know how the primary storyline will unfold. Thematically, it leans towards Star Trek optimism, but it has a hit and miss implementation. It succeeds when it pays tribute to the Gene Roddenberry cultural icon, but fails when it couples it with Star Wars cute cinematic. It just kills immersion, and immersion is necessary in a game like this. To play games like DarkStar One, enthusiasts are known to spend small fortunes to build cockpits in their homes to simulate the experience of going boldly where no one has gone before. But thankfully, DarkStar One takes off the Freelancer over Starlancer where the controls are concerned. You do not need a flight stick to play the game. All that is required is a mouse, a keyboard, and the patience to figure out the shortcuts and memorize them. That's it. But what if you have an old flight stick, or an old pair of flight sticks lying around the house? Are they worth dusting off? Frankly, no. I dusted off my old Logitech Extreme 3D Pro to play Elite Dangerous. I was perfectly content playing DarkStar 1 with mouse and keyboard. The reason why I switched to the flight stick was it was already hooked up. Otherwise, I would have never bothered. Now, what if DarkStar 1 is your first space sim? Is it worth buying flight sticks to play the game? It depends. A relatively inexpensive Logitech Extreme 3D Pro is worth the investment if it is your intention to double with the genre. There are games that are difficult if not impossible to play with mouse and keyboard. If you like what you have played and want to be a hobbyist, a more expensive pair of flight stick like the Logitech X56 and a more experienced gamer than I are required to provide advice. But if you are likely to be one and done, flight sticks are not worth the investment. You may feel they are, because the tutorial makes you feel like you're learning a complex new supercomputer. But the complexity is on par with space sims of the era. Not only do you have to learn new keyboard shortcuts, but you will need to constantly look them up in the settings too. But once memorized, flying the DarkStar One will feel like second nature. Well, to an extent. Flying through open space and engaging pirates in dogfights will definitely make you feel like piloting a Star Fury in Babylon 5. But occasionally, you will need to navigate tricky, narrow corridors that will definitely break immersion. The biggest issue with these corridors is that the walls are indistinguishable from each other, so it's easy to get lost, and if you suffer from motion sickness, fall ill. Thankfully, they are few and far between, so they are not game-breaking. What is likelier to break the game for most gamers is the aesthetics. DarkStar 1 borrows heavily from Babylon 5 for its visuals. That is why it has not aged well. Seriously, crank up the graphic settings to high. Everything still looks ugly because it borrows from an ugly show. Sorry B5 fans, but that is the truth. Babylon 5 wants to be the polar opposite of Star Trek. So it does its best to look dirty, live-in, and utilitarian. What it winds up with is a unique aesthetic that will never stand the test of time. Come to think of it, Ascaron knew it too. The DarkStar One strongly resembles the White Star, so it is hideous. It explains why I always wind up in cockpit view every time I load the game. The developers must have noticed its title ship is one hell of a Tianok, so it strongly encourages the player to keep it out of sight. Unfortunately, you need to get used to it. The DarkStar One is the sole starship you will be able to pilot. It is, to be perfectly honest, a gutsy move on the part of the developers. Starship customization is part of the fun in space sims, but they removed that entirely from the game, and that is unfortunate. I would have loved to repaint the brown and green DarkStar One red and black, but that is not the sole quirk you need to get used to. The DarkStar One does not have a cargo hold. This is mind-boggling. A key feature of space sims is the ability to buy and sell goods, and occasionally smuggle goods between star systems. You can still play merchant if you like, but you need to get used to playing Mother Duck too. What I mean is, your cargo will be trailing behind your ship like ducklings trail behind a mother duck in a pond. What frustrates me the most is that the cargo needs to be dropped every time pirates attack. Otherwise, the ship will be less maneuverable and be more vulnerable to attacks. Problem here is that after the pirates are defeated, the cargo needs to be picked up manually. Now, if picking up the cargo is as simple as recalling them with a button, that's fine. But it's not. You need to fly to the cargo, decelerate, and make eye contact to pick it up again. What adds to the frustration is the fact that you need a keyboard with a numpad to accelerate on the accelerate. I haven't used a keyboard with a numpad in 5 years, so I spent half the game pressing the wrong plus and minus keys on thinking that the DarkStar One cannot decelerate and cannot go full stop when it apparently can, as long as the plus and minus keys press are on the numpad. And not just press once, they have to be pressed repeatedly. But if you have a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, accelerating and decelerating is simplified by pushing a switch up and down. Thankfully, the combat is enormously satisfying and does not come with quirks. All you need to do is aim at the red reticle leading enemy ships and fire. It is as simple as that, but not as easy. This is not a first-person shooter. You do not aim and shoot, you go full throttle and hope you land a shot. Honestly, I wish I can help, but I still have yet to figure out how Spacesim combat works. I mean, dogfighting in Freelancer was a breeze, but dogfighting in Starlancer was a chore. DarkStar One is kind of both, and I haven't played enough of a new Spacesim to say that it is a staple of a genre, or that it is unique to the games released before the Spacesim renaissance ushered in by Kickstarter. When DarkStar One was first released in 2006, it was the sole playable Spacesim in the market. Nothing matched its ability to emulate the best aspects of Freelancer, so its many quirks, including its butchery of Klingon honor, were forgiven.
You better let me do the talking. This guy simply doesn't trust strangers at all.
Pretty run down, the station.
You should see the quarters. Last time
Iona! Iona.
Capital.
Damn it. Where is Iona?
She's safe. You did your job well, and the fact that you're here shows a lot of courage. That's rare in humans.
And that's why you're breaking your word?
Oh, I never break my word.
You promised you'd let Iona go if I did your job, and I did. So, where is she?
I can't let her go. Not yet. She owes me a big debt. Such a small favor can't clear up this problem. That would hurt my reputation.
What does that mean?
That our business isn't finished. I have 3 jobs planned for you. If you do them, I'll forget Iona's debt.
And then you let her go?
You have my word.
Good. What's wrong?
Trouble. Cabro, that damn dishonorable fool. I should have known he was no good. He said the bounty hunter's on Iona. What a mess.
Ramirez. What about Iona?
Yeah, she's gone, that's what. You did your job too damn well, human. Cabro thought we should use you for a while. But I didn't want to, since I gave you my word. But for Cabro, cleaning up the dirty work is more important.
Where is she now?
In Cabro's hideout. He wants you to do a couple of jobs for him. Bad, dishonorable jobs.
Then I'll rescue her. Where is this hideout?
I like that, human. You seek out battle like a Mortok. We both have a score to settle with Cabro. But we have to be careful. His hideout is well defended.
But Spacesims have undergone a bit of a renaissance since. There are plenty of new titles to choose from today. I am of the opinion that it is high time to award this clumsily written love letter to science fiction and move on. But unfortunately, I have been unable to think of another space sim that manages to be as accessible as DarkStar One. So with that in mind, I say it's fine. DarkStar One will never let you forget that there is a deadly pandemic ravaging the world right now. It will never let you forget that climate change is slowly boiling everyone alive either. But if you are desperate for throwback sci-fi, this is the game for you. You are going to love the Babylon 5 grimness, relish the Star Trek optimism, and grow to love and hate the Star Wars cute cutscenes. If you are wondering why a handful of gamers are willing to spend a small fortune on simulating space exploration in their living rooms, DarkStar One is capable of providing that insight at an affordable price. But unfortunately, it is unlikely to persuade you to do the same.